The price of the house is given as 26,700. To calculate the deposit, Gloria paid 20% of the house price. First, I calculate 20% in the demical from which is 0.2. Then I multiply 0.2 by 260,700, which get me deposit amount of 53,400. After finding the deposit, I calculate the principal, which is the loan amount Gloria need to borrow. To get the principal, I subtract the deposit from the house price. 26,700 means 53,400 equal 30,600. Finally, the annual interest rate for the loan is given as a 10%, which can also be expressed in demical from as 0.10. That is the full breakdown of the how I arrive at the deposit principal and interest rate. First, the annual interest rate is 10%. But since paid are made monthly, I divide 10% by 12 to get monthly interest rate of 0.008333 or 0.8333%. Then I use the EMI formula to find the monthly payment. The loan amount is 21,600. The monthly interest rate is 0.00833 and the number of payment is 15 years times 12 months, which is 180 months. I first calculate 1 plus 0.00833 to the power of 180, which equal 5.958. Then I multiply 0.00833 by 5.9958 to get 0.04996. Next, I subtract 1 from 59958 given 4.9958. After that, I divide 0.04996 by 49958 to get 0.1. Finally, I multiply the loan amount by 0.1. RM 2,3600 equals 0.01, which gave the monthly payment of 2,136.50 ringgit. So, Gloria will need to pay 236 ringgit 50 cent every monthly for 50 years. I will explain how I get the loan repayment table. First, the total number of payment is for 15 years, since there are 12 months in a year. We multiply 15 by 12. Which given us 180 total payments. Next, the monthly payment EMI is about 2,292 ringgit 25 cent each month. This is the fixed amount Gloria has to pay every month. Each month, part of the payment goes to pay the interest and the rest goes to reduce the loan principal. In the first month, the interest is calculated based on the full loan amount. The interest is 178 and the rest of the payment 512 ringgit 24 cents goes to paying down the principal. After the first payment, the loan balance become 2,030 ringgit 97 ringgit 76 cents. In the second month, because the loan balance is a bit lower, the interest is slightly less, RM 1775.73. So more of the payment goes to the principal RM 516.51 and the loan balance dropped to RM 21271.25. In the third month, the same process happens again. The interest is 1771.43. The principal payment is RM 520 ringgit 81 cent and the new loan balance become RM 2012 ringgit 50 cent. As you can see, every month the interest get a little smaller, the principal repayment get a little bigger, and the loan balance keeps decreasing until it is fully payment off at the end of 180 months. First, to calculate the monthly interest, I multiply the original loan balance of 2,030 ringgit 600 by the monthly interest rate of 0.00833. This gave me an interest amount of 780 ringgit for the first month. Next, I found the principal paid by subtract the interest from the monthly pay. The monthly payment is 2,292 ringgit 24 cents. So 2,294 ringgit 24 cents means 178 ringgit equals 511 ringgit 75 cents. This amount is of the part the payment that reduced the loan balance. Finally, to find the new loan balance, I subtract the principal paid from the original loan balance. So 2,030 ringgit 600 means 511 ringgit 75 equals 2030 ringgit 880. Therefore, after the first payment, Gloria new loan balance is 2030 ringgit 88 ringgit 25 cent.
Let's start with calculating the interest. We use the formula for simple interest, that is I equals to P times R times T, where P is the principal amount, which is 120,000. Some more, R is the annual interest rate, that is 3.8% or 0.38 as a decimal. T is the time period, which is 7 years. Now, let's substitute the values into formula. So, I equals to 120,000 times 0.038 times by 7. This gives us I equals to 31,920 ringgit. So, the total interest earned over 7 years is 31,920 ringgit. So, the second one is maturity value of the loan. Next, let's find the maturity value of the loan. The maturity value is simply the principal plus the interest. So, let's recalculate that. Maturity value equals to 120,000 plus by 31,920. That gives us maturity value equals to 151,920 ringgit. So, now let's calculate the monthly payment for the loan. Since the loan lasts 7 years, we first find the total number of months. For example, 7 years times by 12 months equals to 84 months. Next, we divide the maturity value, which is 151,920 ringgit by the number of months. Monthly payment 151,920 ringgit divided by 84, it's equal to 1,808 ringgit 57 cent. So, your fixed monthly payment would be 1,808 ringgit 57 cent. So, over the 7-year period. So, the second one is rebate if settled early after 2 years. What if the loan is settled early? So let's see what happens if you pay it off after 2 years. First, we determine the remaining loan term. For example, 7 years minus by 2 years, it's equal to 5 years remaining. Then calculate the number of payments left. Example, 5 years times by 12 months equals to 60 months remaining. To find the remaining principal, multiply the monthly payment by the number of remaining months. Let me show you something. 1,808 ringgit 57 cent times by 60. It's equal to 108,540 cent. This amount is 108,540 20 cent is the remaining principal at the time of early settlement after 2 years. Thank you.
Let's start with part A. We are given an initial principal amount of 12,600 invested for 2 years at an annual interest rate of 10%. Let's use the compound interest formula. What is the formula? The formula is P bracket 1 plus R multiplied by T, where P is 12,600 and R is 0.10. That means 10% from the rate, and T is for 2 years for the time period. Okay, let me show you how we use the formula. The first step is we use the 12,600 times bracket 1 plus 0.10, that means 10%, and multiplied by 2. After we calculate the bracket first, we need to calculate the bracket first, and we got 1.21. After we got the 1.21, we need to multiply with 12,600, and the answer is given is 15,246. So that is the total compound interest earned. to calculate the compound interest, we need to put for the answer that given in A section, we need to minus with P. What is P? P is the 12,600. So the answer that given is 15,246 need to be minus with 12,600. So the answer is 2,646 ringgit. Now for part B, we are compounding semi-annually. We are given 10,400 at an annual rate of 12.7% for 4 years. First, we divide the annual rate by 2. 12.7% divided by 2 is equals to 6.35% or 0.0635, and since compounding is semi-annual for 4 years, we have to times 2. 4 times 2 is equals to 8 periods. Now using the same formula but adapted for semi-annual compounding, 10,400 times 1 plus 0.635 multiplied by 8. The answer given is 16,204.20 ringgit. Now for the last part, let's calculate the interest rate needed for 1,200 ringgit to grow to 1,348.32 cents in 2 years. Now let's use the compound interest formula. What is the compound interest formula? The compound interest formula is P bracket 1 plus R multiplied by T, where A is the final amount, P is the principal, R is the annual interest rate, T is the time in years. Now let's do the calculation. 1,348.32 equals to 1,200 bracket 1 plus R multiplied by 2. Next, divide both sides by 1,200. That means 1.1236 equals to 1 plus R multiplied by 2. Now take the square root of both sides. 1 plus R equals to square root of 1.1236 equals to 1.06. Finally, subtract 1 from both sides to find R. So R equals to 1.06 minus 1. So the answer is 0.06. Now, after we got the answer, convert it to the percentage. So 0.06 convert to times 100 is 6%. So the required interest rate is 6% per year. That's the answer. Thank you.